Good point. All right. Hello, Debbie. Yes,
Did they accidentally print an old agenda? I mean, Tim is in the house.
Well, I'm part of the commissioning committee for the U.S.
Yeah, of course.
So we've been all day. Some of the same things that we did with the captain.
Oh, how's the boat doing?
Well, it's about to go in the water. So next month it will go in the water. It wasn't their problem.
Isn't that the scary part? The first day in the water? Just to make sure all the bolts are fastened up? Yes. Good to meet you again. How are you? Yes, very good. Awesome. That was great.
Situated people from the Indians.
Welcome all to the, there we go. Well, no. There we go. Okay, welcome all to the Washington County Board of Commissioners this April 21st. We're a few minutes late getting started, but when our brave men from the U.S. Navy are here, we're going to chat with them first, so we're fine being late, and we're glad that you can be in attendance. Thank you very much. We're going to start our meeting today first with an invocation by our own, well, formerly our own, Tim Martin.
Yes. Yeah, I am actually representing Hans de Haan from the Quaker community, and I said, hey, I'm going to be here, and he said, be my guest, and I'm here really as part of the USS Utah, but God hears us everywhere, so if you join me in prayer. Our Father in heaven, we're so thankful this day that we're able to be at this valuable meeting. We're thankful for the commissioners and for the staff and all those who work so hard to make life here in Washington County sweeter and better. We're thankful for this weather. We pray for rain. We pray for water that we'll need to continue our lives. We're thankful for the water we've received, but we ask for more. We're thankful for the protection that we enjoy in this country and for those who are risking their lives to protect us. May they be protected, and may they be blessed as they venture forth, as these sailors will, from the USS Utah. We're thankful for the many blessings that we enjoy in our lives, that we can be comfortable and safe. We pray that we'll be able to enjoy and feel the inspiration of the commissioners in this meeting. And this we ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tim. We next will have a Pledge of Allegiance led by Chief Zachary Nielsen of the USS Utah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a means of expediting the consideration of routine matters. If a commissioner requests that items be removed from the consent agenda, those items are placed at the beginning of the regular agenda. Other than requests to remove items, a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda is not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt our consent agenda consisting of the following 3 items. Consideration of auditor-approved claims for payment for April 8, 2026 through April 21st, 2026. Consideration of commission meeting minutes of April 7th, 2026. And C, consideration of administrative adjustments to real property.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. On to the regular agenda. The first item is a presentation by the USS Utah. Or those representing the USS Utah, I guess, not the boat itself.
We have 4 members of the crew from the USS Utah, and I'll ask them to come up and introduce themselves and just a sentence of what do they do on the USS Utah. And Cobb, in addition, we have the chief of the boat, who is a senior enlisted. Maybe you could give a quick status on the Utah. Where is it now, and what are some of the major events? I'll go last. Yeah.
I'm Seaman Glassford on the USS Utah. I am the newest radioman.
The newest what?
Radioman.
Radioman.
Also a Utah.
All right.
How cool is that to be a Utah native on the USS Utah?
So what part of Utah?
Came from Riverton.
Riverton, all right.
Lieutenant Junior Grade Piper. I'm the reactor controls assistant in charge of the reactor and all instrumentation for the Utah, going critical in a couple months.
Oh, wow.
And
From Vermont.
Vermont, tell us a little bit about your reactor that I learned, that how long it will stay without, maintenance or refueling and all of that.
So maintenance is always doing something, mostly preventative, but 33 years without refueling the entire life of the boat, it can outlast the hull itself. Other than that, it powers the entire boat. Sometimes they can power a city without it. We can stay critical for ever if we really wanted to.
Oh, wow.
Right, and you desalinate using all that power, the lights, the guidance, everything.
Absolutely everything. We do have a battery, but we use the reactor to charge the battery just in case we want to shut down the reactor for some reason.
Okay.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Tim, is that kind of the job you had or no?
Yeah, I drove 2 sets. One was a whistle boat as a junior officer, so I was M Division officer, and then I was later the engineer on a fast attack. The boat I was engineer on was hull number 594. Their hull number 800. So that's 200, and they should have been, they're 801, but they should have been 800. So 200
Interesting.
boats later, it's a little bit different. But yeah. And to answer your question, the boat makes their own oxygen, so they never run out. They clean the air all the time, make all their water, air conditioning, all that.
And you were telling us how each of the nuclear nodules, that it works on one and then it burns through the coating into the next one. Not to give away national secrets here.
Right. That's the way you make it last 33 years, okay, is that some uranium is exposed when you first start up, and then over time, some coating on the uranium is burned off, and that exposes more fuel, and that's how it lasts for 33 years. But it's very, very expensive. And so almost $500 million of that $4 billion vote is for the reactor. But it'll last 33 years without refueling.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm a Petty Officer Frank. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm a nuclear machinist mate on the Utah, so that includes operating all the fluid systems that support the reactor system, including doing maintenance on the systems that interact with the radioactive water. So if you've ever seen Monsters, Inc., the yellow chicken suits that they wear, got to dress out in those to not contaminate myself. But
Super.
been on the Utah for 3 years. I've been able to see it evolve from just a single little piece of hull all the way to a fully formed boat, which has been a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to stand kind of aside, if that's okay. Just because I feel weird talking about back to the crowd. Master Chief Zach Nielsen, the second cop of Utah. I've been there since August of 24. I've been in the Navy 18 years. I'm the old guy of these four. This is my 5th submarine. The Cobb, chief of the boat, is jack of all trades. I own the crew, and then all the problems that come with owning the crew. I'm the de facto leader of the chief's quarters, and I am the senior enlisted advisor to the captain. So while the captain gets back to sit back and drink coffee and put view and all the great ideas of the long-term vision, I work with the executive officer to be the two other members of the triad to make those visions, those long-term goals happen. So really, really exciting stuff. I'm also going to get some extra credit here, long distance to my wife. I've moved all over the place as a kid, but I met my wife in Ohio, so I'm going to claim Ohio today, so that's good. Quick update on the Utah. So hull complete, crew complete. We are entering into the water within the next month. We have some final phases of engineering testing and some other tactical systems testing, and then we'll go out for Alpha and Bravo sea trials. Following that, we'll do some acoustic sound trials and some weapon systems testing, and then we'll be commissioning the boat late spring, early summer of 2026. So we are inside that final year. There's a lot of great stuff happening. The project, instead of losing speed, is now gaining speed. We are the primary objective for General Dynamics Electric Boat to get us finished and out the door and commissioned. So it's an exciting time. Thank you for letting us join you.
Wonderful experience. Do you have the launch codes?
What's that?
Do you verify the launch codes?
Oh, no, they don't want me to do that. Thank you for letting us join you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, can we come down and get a picture with you?
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
sorry,
get
go
a
ahead.
picture.
Go ahead.
Well, I just thought, wouldn't it have been cool to be at the christening of the USS Constitution, right? 200 years ago. Now, same with us, so thank you.
100%. Well, and on the Utah are some wonderful artifacts from the original USS Utah. Oh, that's right. Gentlemen, you're all right. Morning, Jess. All right. He's getting a good work done. It's my turn.
All right, the second item on the agenda, Paul, Dr. Hill, good luck following the U.S. Navy. But we have an update from Utah State University, our own Dr. Paul Hill.
And USU is a land grant college, so.
No Navy.
As the land grant institution in Utah, we have a presence in every county of the state, and our primary purpose is addressing community needs. And so we do systematic needs assessments across the state and in each county to find out what's the gap between what is and what should be. And then we use the research that we conduct as well as the research that's conducted on campus with our specialists to develop programs that directly address the community needs. Some of the things that we've been up to lately is we've noticed the need for greater OHV safety. Many, as you see in St. George News, so many youth getting injured on Sand Mountain. So we recently procured or awarded a $50,000 grant for an 4-H OHV safety program, where you're going to be able to buy a side-by-side and teach youth the safety principles they need to be safe out there. They're going to be out there anyway, so they might as well be wearing helmets and practicing safe driving. We also received additional funding for our youth leadership, our 4-H youth leadership program, and ongoing legislative funding for our e-commerce accelerator program, which helps our rural farmers and ranchers, as well as rural small businesses. The ones that would qualify in the county would be in Enterprise, Laverkin, Tokerville, Hilldale, Leeds. Some of these communities are going to get free technical assistance to help them with established businesses start selling products online. The program has helped over 50 businesses across the state and generated $1.5 million in new revenue to the state of Utah. So that's in the area of business development. Ben Scow's hard at work addressing invasive species that are attacking our fruit trees, and Andrea Schmutz recently got additional funding for the financial literacy program that we have in the state, which funds several positions. Right now, currently working on a curriculum to address AI readiness and apply for a National Science Foundation grant that would help with that. So that's the update from USU Extension. We're grateful. One thing, when we do these systematic needs assessment, we look at our community and what we need. We want to express our appreciation and thanks to the County Commission, because much of the surveys that we send out are confirmed by the observations you have as being on the pulse of the community. And so much of the ideas that we have, that we go and we start to do some research, they come from you. They come from the needs and things you see across the county, and say, hey, have you thought about this? And then lo and behold, that turns into a funded grant or legislative funding. So we thank you for your vision, for all that you do, especially to Commissioner Snow for judging the animal show at the Washington County Fair, our 4-H youth.
No, wasn't it the animal costume portion?
The costume contest.
So who won?
So I'm just going to say that we had just done the state of the county. Hundreds of people judging the costume contest way harder. Because those are adorable kids, and they did really, really well. My top 3 favorite was a kid with a giant black Great Dane with bull horns on it that he dressed up as Ferdinand the Bull, and he was the flowers, like his shirt, and he had flowers tucked all over it. It was good. And then Liberty Mutual Limu Emu and Doug. The girl went as Doug, and her chicken went as the emu, and she even had like little sunglasses on the chicken,
yeah.
shirt and tie on the chicken. She went
Liberty.
all out. She was really good. And then there was Boo from Monsters, Inc., and the number 1 winner was a girl who dressed her goat up as the house with balloons from the movie Up, and she was the old man. And she won, I think she won first place. So it was...
Good job.
They did a really good job. But man, you look at 14 little kids with their big doe eyes looking at you like they want to win the one prize you have. I'm never doing that alone again. So that was tough.
Well, thank you. A lot of those, those are fun. Youth have the opportunity to be creative, but raising livestock is the research shows is one of the activities that builds so much resilience in youth, work ethic, and having been involved in this for over 15 years, I see kids who started raising lambs who are now raising kids, and they're doing a fantastic job. And so we're really proud of them. So this is the week of the Dixie Junior Livestock Show. So check it out, and thank you again for your support, especially all the work that goes in at the Legacy Park to make that possible. For a record now over 300 youth from Washington County participating in this livestock project.
Oh, that's great. And thank you, Paul. You do such a great job, and we have the best extension office in the state.
By far.
For sure.
So thank you.
Wonderful job. Thanks for everything you do.
Appreciate it.
All right, item number 3 is a presentation from the Kayenta Center for the Arts. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and best of luck.
Anchors away.
Thank you for the time on the agenda, Commissioners. My name is Miranda Wright. I'm the Executive Director at the Center for the Arts at Kanta, where I've been for the last 3 years. And if you don't mind, I'll just hand you a little booklet here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Miranda.
So I won't take too much of your time. My main purpose in coming is to introduce myself and to say thank you for the support through both the Washington County RAP Tax Program as well as a marketing grant from Greater Zion. I also wanted to share some updates about how we're doing out there in Kayenta since our building is going to celebrate 10 years in 2027. We're working towards some progressive growth and national reach and making excellent progress. We've seen a 33% increase in our annual revenue since August 2022 when I started. We've received special funding from the Andrew Mellon Foundation, which is the largest national grant maker in the country. And they've renewed their support for us for the next 2 years with 6-figure grants. The Center for the Arts was also the first organization to receive a grant directly from the National Endowment for the Arts in 2023. We've also renewed support from the NEA for this summer. By the way, the only other organization in Southern Utah to receive this grant is the Utah Shakespeare Festival. So that speaks to the caliber of artistic excellence that we're growing into and aiming for. So this summer we host the Kayenta New Play Lab, where we invite playwrights from across the western region to tell stories. And this year it's funded as part of America 250. So these playwrights will be developing new plays for today's American theater that reflect our history, present moment, and future hopes for the country. Just a few other things I'd like to share with you. We hosted or produced 94 performances in our 2024-2025 season, operating year-round. We have an impressive 25% of audiences coming in from outside of Washington County, and we're also seeing some really wonderful numbers in new audiences, so we are really looking forward to continued growth. We have a full-time staff of 6 employees, plus an additional 6 part-time employees, an internship program with SUU's theater department, and we're working on an internship program with Utah Tech right now for this coming year. So we are providing jobs that include professional development and career pathways in arts administration. So that's all I wanted to share with you. If you'd like to come and visit an event or performance, please be in touch. And I look forward to more conversation later on.
No, thank you for a great job out there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you so
giving
much
back.
for coming.
Thank you.
All right, item number 4 is Deputy Sergeant Paul with our search and rescue from the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, we have our sheriff. Very good.
Where's our sheriff? Oh, hiding. And we have our acting sheriff, Barry Golding, here with us as well.
So one thing I wanted to make note of before we start on this, because I don't have it in the highlights, Paul mentioned the OHV youth education program that they have. It's definitely something that's needed. I was looking over our report, and about 30% of the call-outs that we've had for search and rescue this month were side-by-side rollovers on Sand Mountain. So definitely a major thing that we deal with in search and rescue, and any education that we can get towards keeping that from happening is definitely good.
What would you say is the number one cause of those 30%?
Most of them are people that are driving rental machines that don't know how to drive a side-by-side.
More on the rock crawling areas of Sand Mountain or more on the dunes?
The dunes. So majority of them are on the dunes. Most of the rentals steer clear of the rock crawling areas because it's a little bit too risky for them to be doing, but they don't understand how powerful those machines are and how to safely ride on the dunes, and it causes a lot of accidents.
Interesting.
Yep, especially on the steeper part of the dunes where gravity has a lot to do with how you're turning and the type of tire that you have. It's just not in their wheelhouse yet.
Yeah, and the big thing is the dunes are constantly changing. You go out one day and go out the next day, and if the wind's been blowing, those dunes are completely different than they were the day before.
Yep.
Luckily, the wind doesn't blow out there very often.
It always blows out there.
Just
Why
not
do
every
you
afternoon.
beat that drum all you want, Commissioner? It always blows.
So,
Yeah, and they get steep on the other side too. I mean, they shift, but also you think they're not all like nice gradual hills. Sometimes you come up and all of a sudden it drops off
on one side.
steep on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. So this is the report for March 16th through April 21st, 2026. We had 14 search and rescue calls, total of 349 volunteer man-hours, 42 certified man-hours, coming to a total of 391 man-hours. We've had 36 search and rescue incidents so far this year. So it's starting to pick up for sure. Our highlights on the report: so we had a dirt bike accident in the BLM area west of Santa Clara off of Gates Lane, and that was on March 22nd at 13:20. We responded, in addition to us responding, Santa Clara Evans Fire and Mercy Air also responded to this call. On a reported dirt bike accident, there was an inexperienced rider that had reportedly gone through a barbed wire fence and suffered a severe laceration to his neck and a suspected broken leg. He had a couple of people that were with him that luckily that were able to get the bleeding stopped. If they wouldn't have been there, it probably wouldn't have been a good situation for him. And then our search and rescue units and Santa Clara Evans medical units arrived and got him stabilized, and then he was loaded in the helicopter and transported to the hospital. That one was a pretty severe injury, and I think he ended up making it out okay on that, but could have been a really bad one. April 1st at 12:48, we had an injured hiker on Red Reef Trail in the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. It was a male who sustained a head injury after falling approximately 6 feet off of a ledge into the water. I don't know if you're familiar with Red Reef Trail very much, but it was right where the Moki steps are. So the lower set of Moki steps, he slipped and fell backwards into the water and hit his face pretty good on the way down. And then, so that one we requested Star 9 to come help, but they were down for maintenance and unable to assist. So we stabilized his injuries and then loaded him in a set of wheeled Stokes and transported him out in the wheeled Stokes. And then he was loaded in the ambulance and transported to the hospital. The last one was April 19th at 22:48, and it was a group of a couple
Sorry,
stranded
on the
hikers.
previous one, how far are the Moki? I've been there before, but I don't remember how long down the trail is that?
They're about a half mile up.
Okay, so
It's not too far up, but it's
horrible.
definitely not a fun carry out. It's nice to have that set of wheeled Stokes
Yeah.
so we can wheel them out down the trail on. So April 19th at 22:48, we had a group of 2 stranded hikers on Red Mountain. It was a male and female with 2 dogs. They were hiking down the face of Red Mountain, and it was fairly dark, and they were unable to get off of a ledge that they got stuck on. So we responded to that location, and our rescuers hiked up to them, and then they utilized a rope system to safely get them off the ledge back onto the trail, and then hiked them down to the trailhead. Sounds like they used the rope system to get the dogs off too, so was a pretty fun one. But and then they both declined medical transport when they got down. Any questions about that?
Well, I just did some math. If you take 391 man-hours divided by 14, you get 27 hours. So it's not just a one-day thing. Some are longer than others, but when you think about it, and maybe some reported, and you said we don't need 8 here anymore, so 4 leave. But it still is a lot of time commitment by the volunteers.
It definitely is.
Thank you.
They do an awesome job, and we're lucky to have the volunteers that we have. So we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
We had a chance to talk on the radio this morning, and they wanted to talk about search and rescue and the work that you guys do. And I was happy to be able to be proud of all of you and your volunteers and brag about you for a little bit on the radio. And just thanks again for everything you do.
Thanks.
Item number 5, Alfred from our County Clerk Auditor's Office with the consideration of purchase requests.
All right, for the first one, it's for the Dixie Center for chain motors, truss, and cabling for the East Exhibit Hall backline for $31,082.89. Next one, also for the Dixie Center, is for the ballroom air wall recovery for $85,230. Last one for the Dixie Center, for this group of Dixie Center ones, is for a bathroom renovation for $257,500. Next group for the Sheriff's Office, first one for SWAT body armor for $12,986.04.
Well, sorry, Sheriff, how many units is that?
Yeah.
Expired vests, is that what you said? Good.
All right, next one is also for the Sheriff's Office for a 2026 Polaris Expedition ADV. The total is going to be for $53,000. $25,000 of that is going to be grant funding, and then $7,500 is donated funds. And then the final one it's for the EOC. It's for a Fuels Truck Spacemaker kit for $22,463.45.
Very good.
Jake, are you buying 3 Polaris? It's one and then outfitted with...
So it's one outfitted. We submitted a grant for 2, we approved 1, and then we the other $925 for the initial one. We all have
Gotcha.
Very good.
Ms.
We also submit what's coming out right on the
Okay. Is this an us asset or a regional asset?
Mr. Chair, I offer a motion on the purchase request that we approve them as presented, and notice that these items are budgeted and planned for in advance.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that and just acknowledge that Washington County, I think, is one of the most transparent counties when it comes to transactions and expenditure of funds. These are budgeted items, and then we still bring them forward because we think it's important that it be in a public forum, that they're voted on, so it's part of transparency.
On anything over $10,000. All right, we have a motion. Was that your second? And a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Alfred. Item number 6 is consideration of ordinance number 2026-1319-0, an ordinance amending Washington County Ordinance Title 4, Chapter 4 regarding burn permits. Jason Bradley from our Emergency Operations Center.
Thank you, Commissioners. I think what is before you is a request to shorten the burn permit season. Some of our neighbors, some of the city jurisdictions have already done so. And we've got about another month left on what would conventionally be our normal burn permit season. But we're already having some problems. We've already had multiple fires in the county, several of which were burns that either they got a permit or didn't and got it out of control. The fuel situation, we're setting up for a very busy fire season this year, and I think it behooves us to, even though we have a lot of agriculture and there is some dependence on burn, I think it's time to consider shortening that this month. We're a month ahead on a traditional burn season. They're expecting, in a forecast we saw a week or so ago, for really all of our fuels and stuff to be ready for our fires to start popping off probably the end of May. So if we keep that burn permit open to that time, we're probably allowing a little bit extra risk, and it's worth considering shutting down sooner.
Yeah.
So we really recommend that.
Yeah.
Would you, Mr. Chair, would you remind that a lot of communities or individuals in communities, I noticed up in an area of Diamond Valley that they had to take out some trees because they were in their septic, and they had them all ready to burn. And if communities would get together and make it a community thing, that a lot of the tree trimming companies here for very reasonable cost will come and chip them for you. If you would just bring them to a central location, and it ends up being $20, $30 per household with reasonable numbers of limbs or trimming their fruit trees or whatever. And then we limit, one, the fact that they sit there like they miss the burn time, right? And so they sit in the yard forever, vermin, what have you, get in them. Anyway, it's just a real good idea to team up like that.
It is, and if you live in some of the rural areas, some of the rural fire departments will also assist you with that. Dameron's extremely aggressive, and so is Diamond and some of our other fire departments about helping with the mitigation. We bought that chipper last year to help those communities do that. It's a little late to do those piles. At least we're recommending that it be a little late to do those piles, and we need to wait another season to do them. But and maybe we give a week on that, one more extension. I don't know what you're considering, but we highly recommend that we shorten that this season.
Right.
So 2 questions, Jason. One, this shortens it in code for just this year, or is this a permanent change the way it's presented to us here?
This is a permanent change here, so you could change it back. You could have an automatic sunset date if you would like to have us include that concept, but right now this is permanent.
Being the eternal optimist that I am sure, with an asterisk, that this next year is going to be very wet and be a super El Nino, and we're going to have lots of rain and snow, and we won't need to close it quite as quickly. And so I would propose that we add an automatic sunset of December 31st of this year, so that we would have to revisit this to next year, and possibly June 1st next year would be great. If not, then this would have to be brought back up again.
Okay.
My second question, Jason, is more of actually just a reminder that anytime the burn window is open, residents, it's not just go burn. There's still you have to look at the clearing index, get your permit, and notify your fire chief for wherever you live, so that which is usually just where I'm at, I just call them and say, hey, I've got the clearing index is high enough, which is that it's not so windy that it's going to spread fire, but also there's not zero wind so that the smoke just sits there on your neighbor's house for a while, right? It's just enough breeze to kind of clear it out, and that those are requirements even during the burn window being open, so between now and May 1st if we were to pass this.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Did you have a burn permit when your shed burned down, or no?
Well, that was an electrical fire, and so no, I did not have one. That was a stupid Power Wheels battery that melted and burned down my shed. It was an ugly shed, and so I'm kind of glad it was gone. I do miss the 3 motorcycles that were inside.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, thanks a lot for bringing up the sore subject, and I'm going to go cry for a while.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
So I make a motion that we adopt this resolution with a sunset date of this year, just to kind of see where we are next year.
Yeah, and what I would do is just add a new section 4-4-6 that says, for this year only, these are the dates. And then that provision itself would sunset December 31st. So that's how I would track that change.
Okay.
Second with that language.
Okay, so, yeah. So we have a motion and a second with that amendment. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Jason.
Yeah.
Commissioners, I move that we table item number 7. There's some things that have happened. I was just notified recently, and so if we could table number 7.
I move that we table item 7.
I'll second that motion.
Motion is to table item number 7 on the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Item number 7 is tabled. Number 8 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3742, a resolution amending the county's PID policy and the tax district and fee policy. Victoria Hales from the County Attorney's Office.
Good afternoon. You may recall that we had a special meeting to approve the Solara PID, and that went well. We approved the Solara PID with some amendments to the governing document that were made on the fly. There was one important revision that the applicant had requested that we couldn't accommodate on the fly because it violated our county PID policy. And that was related to what they kind of call the landing ramp or off-ramp for the length of the PID bonds. So they had requested a termination date not to exceed 40 years, and our PID policy had a not to exceed 30 years. So the first item that you're looking at is an amendment, miscellaneous amendments for cleanup, but particularly to accommodate in paragraph B of the PID policy, number 3, all bonds shall have a maximum term not to exceed 31 years and a termination date not to exceed 40 years. That's to give them the landing or off-ramp they wanted for future PID bonds. I think that this policy change needs to proceed us the next agenda item, which is to amend the governing document to include this same language.
For that project.
For that project only. So the first agenda item is we're seeking a motion to amend the PID policy and the taxing district and fee exhibits as attached to accommodate this change for the Solara PID that you approved at the last special meeting, and whatever other considerations you want. There's some other miscellaneous changes in blue in the attached documents.
But again, they're separate in this particular case. One just reflects what the request was last time, and that we'll deal with that in the next agenda item. I don't know if it's the appropriate time or how you want to deal with this, but I'd like to actually repeal our PID policy entirely.
I know that there are a lot of concerns about PIDs. I know there has been at least one bankruptcy related to a PID up north. So you have a couple of options. You could, if you want to repeal the PID policy, you could put it on the next agenda item, and we could redraft the PID policy so that it would apply only to the PID that you've already approved, Solara.
Right.
And it would also, the PID policy also would apply to the extent it needs to apply to municipalities that pass PIDs, and then we have to administer them.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do it at the next meeting, or the other option is you could amend the PID policy and the taxing district fee exhibit as attached, and then additionally move to repeal the PID policy. You'd have to do that solely for any future PIDs, not the existing Solara PID, and not for any PIDs that are approved inside a municipality. And you could make that effective after today. You can make that effective tomorrow if you wanted to repeal it, so that you'd still have an effective PID policy that's been amended for Solara.
So would that be happening in item number 8, or would that happen in item number 9?
You'd have to do that in item 8 if you wanted to.
But doing so would not prevent us from considering item number 9.
It would exempt 9.
Not if you make the repeal effective tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit safer maybe to put it on the next agenda, but I think that you could do it either way if you're considering repealing the PID policy. I think there are multiple reasons to talk about that. One is we have a different avenue, IFDs, and those are a bit safer for end buyers because they have to pay off the debt before they sell it to an end buyer.
Yeah, personally, I like, so it's an infrastructure financing district.
Yes.
And commissioners, I'm a much bigger fan of those over PIDs because they don't have you already know that, but just for the public's knowledge is that they don't carry the weight of decades of having this on the burden of the taxpayer or on the homeowner. They're paid off at the time of the sale of the home to a third party. And so there is no ongoing burden, but it still allows the developer to get the money to be able to do the infrastructure improvements that they need. It just has a much quicker termination.
Well, and the other policy consideration is typically PIDs are done inside a municipality where the majority of development takes place. It's harder in an unincorporated county to do kind of PID developments. It would be more common for that land to be annexed into a city or municipality and to do the PID inside a municipality. I don't know, Sarah, if our outside counsel, Aaron Wade, is on Zoom. So we can either continue discussing it for the next meeting, or you could do it as part of your motion today, however you want to do it.
Well, the one question I have that I want to make sure is just, and I think I know the answer, is just that Solara has come all this way, and so whatever we do for future PIDs has nothing to do with, or it won't negatively impact their...
There's a carve-out for them.
They basically get their PIDs, so...
Absolutely. They have already been approved.
Yeah.
We are amending the PID policy to accommodate them. We've made a lot of accommodations for them, and then any repeal wouldn't affect them. The PID policy existing when they, like today, would apply to Solara. Okay. So they'd be like an existing non-conforming land use. Same thing.
Yeah, the motion simply expresses that for this one time, the maturity date is 40 years.
Yeah.
And then almost in the same motion, this will be repeated.
Yeah, so the question really is, like, we go ahead and get everything done for today, and then whether we do it today or whether we come back to another meeting. So.
If you want to just keep it status quo, you could just amend the PID policy the way we proposed it today, which helps Solara, and it changes that one line item that they're particularly interested in. The only danger would be you might get an application in the next 2 weeks for another PID, and then it would come in under this amendment, this amended PID policy today. Or you could do both today, amend what we want to amend to help Solara, and then repeal it for any future PIDs in the unincorporated area.
My only concern, just having looked at the calendar, is that we have Western Interstate Region the first week of May, so we actually don't have another meeting for a month.
And to back up Commissioner Snow, I remember when St. George announced, this was back in 2003, 4, 5, I don't remember exactly when, they announced that all of their building permits cost would double after a certain date. And so what happened? People came in and bought building permits and had no intention of building. I know there was some expiration on them, and like they sold 3,000 building permits before that cutoff date. So to back up the time we meet again, it's just kind of scary for me. This is being recorded. Others that might be interested or knowing it's going to happen, I'd like it, however the motion is structured, that we do it today.
Well, I could, you know how I word things on the fly, I could help, but maybe Devin would like to weigh in on that.
Just one comment, Commissioners. I mean, you could have a repealer, but all that does is repeal the policy. That doesn't stop somebody from submitting a petition for a PID within a week. I think if I'm understanding your intent correctly, you would have a new provision, or the policy would basically be one sentence long, which says we won't consider a petition. Is that the intent of the commission? So I think instead of it's a repealer, but maybe one sentence provision that says we won't accept any petition to create a PID.
In the unincorporated area.
Correct.
The problem is the PID policy has rules about how we administer PIDs that are approved in municipalities.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a parsing issue, but I think that if you wanted to repeal today, you could make a motion to amend the PID policy and the taxing district and fee exhibits as attached, and then additionally move to repeal the PID policy solely for future PID applications in the unincorporated county, but not affecting the Solara PID and not affecting the PID policies that apply to PID approvals in municipalities. That's how you'd have to word it. and then the repeal would be effective tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
That'd be my motion right there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You okay with that?
I've always felt like Solara came in and has operated in good faith, and we just want to get him across the finish line. But I share a lot of the sentiments of Commissioner Snow and Commissioner Almquist, especially there's some other finance tools that are now available that I think I'm more comfortable with. Each financial tool has its own benefit and stuff, so. But anyway, yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do you have whatever you need from us right now?
I do.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 9 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3743, a resolution approving the amended governing document for the Solara PID, which was just addressed, but anything else you need to add to that, Victoria?
Well, the governing document was just amended by our outside counsel to give them the same 40-year off-ramp that they wanted and some other minor changes and stylistic changes. So the amended governing document would need to be approved today, and it would be attached to their PID approval from our special meeting last month.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you making the motion? I'm making the motion? Okay, on item 9, I make a motion that we adopt resolution R-2026-3743, a resolution approving the amended governing document for the Solara PID.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
We have one existing PID in the unincorporated county. Thank you for your time.
And again, just to reiterate on that, there are other tools to accomplish this. We just don't want to burden the homeowners and those that the subsequent buyers, right? That years down the line, they go, I had no idea. And the administration of this from our county clerk, from Ryan Sullivan's office, is difficult as well. So this is utilizing a little more efficient tool.
Well, and he'll already have the existing headaches that he has from the municipal PIDs, which arguably might be the way a PID should come in through municipal development.
Yeah, they can still happen in the municipalities.
Yes.
We're just talking about the unincorporated portion of the county.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Item number 10 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3744, a resolution approving a cooperative service agreement with the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, Wildlife Services for wildlife damage management, subject to final legal review. Cameron.
Thank you.
That is a mouthful of a resolution.
I know. Well, I'll try to explain it. As you guys know, we do a number of projects to help recover the Mojave Desert tortoise. A natural predator that they have here is the common raven. However, it's not natural that we have hundreds, if not thousands, of ravens. They're subsidized here by the landfill, by the reservoirs, and so the ravens are a big predator on desert tortoises, and they're taking a big toll on their population. Our primary way of handling this situation is kind of like raven birth control. We go in there and we find the eggs, the nests, and when appropriate, we dip those eggs in vegetable oil so they don't hatch out. However, in some circumstances, we can't find all of the nests. The nests are inaccessible, or they hatch out before we get a chance to get to them.
Yeah.
So in those kind of situations, we're hopeful to have a contract with Wildlife Services so they can take care of those extra ravens in those, mostly just in key areas where we have a high density of desert tortoises and potential for higher conflict. So this cooperative services agreement would be for 1 year, but it would essentially allow us to treat the remainder of this season and most of next season as well. And so we estimated it to be about $3,000 per season, so the contract would be not to exceed $6,000 over the entire year contract.
Okay.
And you can do this without any violation of policy or federal?
It's under a permit. You do need federal permits to do this, and they have their own set of permits. We're working under a permit with Fish and Wildlife Service, and they'll probably use our permit for these services. But if we exceed the amount of take that we have, then they can probably just use their own permit.
And all of your team and whoever's involved should be very experienced after Easter with the dipping of the eggs?
Correct.
Okay.
They really enjoy the work out there. Yep.
Do you use drones still?
We use the drones to monitor the nests so we know how many eggs and when they're at a full clutch.
Yeah. Now, after the creepy stories about little baby dead tortoises outside of our doors that might have been dropped there by ravens, I'm a little bit worried about ravens, about your safety. You know, Cameron, you could be stalked by a herd of ravens.
There's a movie called The Birds.
Yeah.
We just don't want that to happen to
It
you,
does
Cameron.
worry me a little bit. It doesn't keep me up at night, but I am concerned at how intelligent those birds are and what they're planning to do. So.
Yeah.
What they're planning to do. There's meetings. Yeah.
Well, you know, if there's any ravens listening, I want them to know this is all on camera.
Yeah.
They do meet and they do talk to each other. Like I was up at the top of a nest and the male raven came and saw me, and instead of attacking me, it went back and got 10 of its friends, and then all of them.
See what I'm saying?
So they were all saying, hey,
this is
he's the
life
one,
and
he's the
safety
person
issue.
they're very intelligent.
Okay, so more.
Is this covered in our employee health care
do we have,
policy? Is this hazard pay, birds?
I wear goggles. They can't get at my eyes.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, you know who's telling them that we're doing this is Mari over there. He's getting in on their meeting, and they're coming to get your babies.
Maury, be careful what you report. Cameron's he has children.
All right, Chair, I'll move that we approve resolution number R 2026-3744, a resolution approving a cooperative service agreement with the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, Wildlife Services for Wildlife, that's 3 wildlifes, damage management subject to final legal review.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Item number 11 is consideration of Resolution R 2026-3745, a resolution approving a contract with Jackson Excavation for the Pine Valley Reservoir cleaning. Todd Edwards, from our Public Works Director.
Thank you, Commissioners. As you're well aware, we had some problems after the Forsyth fire with a lot of debris. A lot of it went into the Pine Valley Reservoir, and they were already in the process of making improvements to the dam, so they drained the reservoir and have a contractor on site to do repairs and dredge part of that. At this time, we'd like to enlarge that dredging amount, take some funding that we have, and take out the debris that's in there while it's drained. We have an existing contractor that is working with the Forest Service, would like to have a contract with them to take out, I think about 85 acre-feet of debris out of that reservoir at this time. So we'd like to get your approval on the contract with Jackson Excavation for slightly under $1 million.
Interesting. Okay. Did you find a place to put it at?
Yes, the Forest Service has been gracious to give us a site right there on the Forest Service property, just probably less than half a mile away, where they had done the original excavation for the dam, and they're doing the excavation now to make the dam better. So they have a rather large excavation right there, and so we just put it right back in there.
Didn't you say that most of the material will be sand and gravel?
Yeah, most of it is sand and gravel. There's a layer on top, of course, that's ash and woody debris. But a lot of it had been coming down for years. That reservoir was built many decades ago, and over the course of time, it's filled up with debris. Usually, originally had almost like 200 acre-feet of capacity. We'll be taking it back up to like 135 acre-feet, so it'll be a much better fishery, for one thing, and then it'll provide sediment storage for years to come, hopefully.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, very good, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt a resolution, R-2026-3745, a resolution approving a contract with Jackson Excavation for Pine Valley Reservoir cleaning.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 12 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3746, a resolution approving a contract with Suncor for Kolob Terrace Road Middle Section Rehab Project 2026.
Last year, we did the upper section of Kolob Terrace Road. Seems to have worked out very well. We did about 5 miles last year. We'll do about 2 miles this year. We took it out to bid. We got the same contractor at a rate that's actually slightly less per mile for $1,129,077 from Suncor. So I'd like to ask that you award that contract to Suncor.
Yeah, it's all very logical and it's needed, and the residents up there have loved the progress so far.
Yeah.
I move, Mr. Chair, that we approve resolution number R 2026-3746, resolution approving a contract with Suncor for Kolob Terrace Road Middle Section Rehab Project 2026.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second on the item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you much.
Item number 13 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3747, a resolution approving right of entry permit number 7592 with the State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration for the Desert Color Mountain Bike Trail Project. Leslie Fonger.
Hello, Commissioners.
Finally. Yeah.
Well, just a little bit of correction. We don't know that the permit number is going to be 7592. It might be a different number, and this is still subject to attorney review, as we've had a draft but not the final document. But as you know, this project, which we've been collaborating with Desert Color to do, requires Desert Color's approval, but is still on state trust lands as well. So this is the official document that allows us entry onto those lands to do this project, at least the trail construction portion at this stage. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been something you've been working on a long time, Leslie, so hopefully we'll get it across the finish line. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2026-3747, a resolution approving a right of entry permit, and it has number 7592 for the State of Utah and Institutional Trust Lands Administration for Desert Color Mountain Bike Trail Project, subject to legal review, right?
And subject to, not necessarily that permit number.
Not necessarily that permit number.
Not necessarily, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 14 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3748, a resolution approving the execution of a federal aid agreement between the Utah Department of Transportation and Washington County for the Mathis to Fire Lake Trail Study Project, not Fire Lake, Fire Lake.
Yes, Fire Lake, correct. So this is regarding funds that were awarded to us by the MPO, and as they are federal funds, they're administered through UDOT. So this is our agreement with UDOT to get use of those funds, and will allow us to do a feasibility study and concept development of paved trail along the Santa Clara River with the goal of connecting Mathis Park in St. George to Fire Lake and Ivins.
Okay.
Very good.
My turn? Yep. Move that we approve resolution number R 2026-3748 for the execution of a federal aid agreement between the Utah Department of Transportation and Washington County for the Mathis to Fire Lake Trail Study Project.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Before we call for a vote, those seem like interesting points, like Mathis Park.
Well,
is a nice park.
It's a nice park. It's where where a trail along the Santa Clara River currently ends.
Okay.
Though St. George is working with the Utah Trail Network to extend it a little bit, but they'll be, as soon as they cross Dixie Drive from Mathis Park, they'll be taking a turn north up a different wash. So we'll still have the bulk of the Santa Clara River Trail. That is also part of the original Three Rivers plan from back when to look at. Ending at Fire Lake because that's also the boundary of the MPO, and the MPO can only award funds within the MPO.
Yep.
Got it. That helps.
Yep.
Good context.
Very good.
All right, we had a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 15 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3749, a resolution approving a broadcast media tour agreement between Washington County and the Broadcast Experts LLC. Jamie.
Yes, hi Commissioners. This is an agreement with Janine Tornator through Broadcast Media Experts to do live media segments of Washington County on live pitches like the Today Show and other live moments. This is for $12,000 plus reasonable travel expenses and is already part of the budgeted that we have, the budgeted items that we have budgeted with our Fall Bryn Mawr team PR team.
Okay.
Well, very good. Do we know that she's an expert? I mean,
we do vet them quite a lot. She's known quite well for what she does. Her pitch is to help us advertise family vacation within the summer months, which are kind of our slower months here in Washington County. So we're kind of excited about what she'll be able to do for us.
super. Well, with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt item 15, which is Resolution R-2026-3749, a resolution approving a broadcast media tour agreement between Washington County and Broadcast Experts, LLC.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 16 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3750, a resolution adopting a public comment policy for Washington County Commission meetings. Commissioner Victor Iverson.
Well, as you know, we already have an open house style, 1/2 hour before our meeting at 3:30 to 4. And this is just another opportunity for the public to communicate with the county commission in a more, on the record way. So what we have, this policy will just allow individuals to come in and sign up, and then you as chairman would read their name and invite them to the podium to put their records on, their comments on the public record. So it's just another way for Washington County to be transparent and communicate with the public and allow the public to communicate. I think this will make us above and beyond any city or other governmental organization in the county, where we have basically a half an hour before the meeting, and then we have the first item, the first part of our meeting would also be a public comment period as well.
Yeah, we haven't discussed this obviously yet because we're discussing it right now, but I know individually, and some people have come forward, I think that by and large the public comment period that we've had for a year and a half now or so, has worked really well, because we can have much more dialogue, when we come off and have a town hall style public comment period, and people have utilized that a lot. They've come and discussed with us, and we're able to have a dialogue one-on-one with them, and then they'll come and they'll talk to you, and we don't meet as a quorum, but they'll meet with us, and I think it's proved very effective in all the vast majority of the public comment feedback. I wouldn't say public comment on public comment. The public feedback about that comment procedure has been really, really positive, because so many people have been able to, address the issues that they have on their land or business, or, some issue that they have. But it has been suggested, like, well, hey, could you do both? And so I think this is worth trying for a while and see, what the public does. There are times when it's worth commenting. We'll probably have to remind people for a while that public comment period is not a platform to get your pet project out. It's not. I don't believe it. Me personally, I don't believe it's the proper role of government to provide a platform to people where there's many other platforms exist, social media and many other ways that you can get your message out for what you want. Public comment period is a comment to the county commission regarding some item, and there are times where I think it's appropriate where those items need to be on the record, and people can push that, and then it helps hold the county commission accountable for whatever the issue might be. And so I think this is worth doing both. We will also be the only government that I know of in local here, and actually the only one I know in the state of Utah. Perhaps there's somebody else that does double public comment period per commission meeting. So for anybody who thinks that we are, and I think everybody in the county has our cell numbers, emails, and every other way to contact us. If you can't get in a hold of us somehow, you are not trying.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question on this, though. Reading through the policy earlier, Devin, I didn't get a chance to grab you. Item number 1, those wishing to provide public comment input must provide their name to the deputy clerk before commenting. That's fine. Public input is not allowed on any agenda item or pending land use application. Not allowed on any agenda item? Wouldn't people want to come in and comment on something that we're about to take up into the agenda?
The reason for that is we're trying to protect the interests of all parties. So let's say I'm a developer and I have an item that's on your agenda. It's going to be unfair to your developer to allow the public to knock your development or what you're trying to do, and then you as a developer don't have an opportunity to respond. So there are settings for example, if a zone change is being considered, any member of the public can speak to that, but then also the land use applicant or the property owner could also respond. It just sets up, if you allow people to comment on items that are related to the agenda, it's just a little bit unfair to the people who are affected by those items.
That was the St. George policy for years, that you couldn't precede an item and spoil the regular open meeting with a hearing or something.
Right, and that's especially true where you have a public hearing later in the agenda. The idea is, let's reserve comments on that item for the public hearing, for example.
Totally understand on the public hearing portion. I'm with you on that. But if there was something else, and I'm looking through our agenda through today, and burn permits. I want to comment on burn permits and how this affects me and everything, but we're not going to let you talk about burn permits.
Because it's on the agenda.
Because it's on the agenda, but then how am I supposed to communicate with you?
Yeah.
Prior to you taking up a vote on burn permits?
Yeah, and I think we can balance that concern, Commissioner. I think you could just strike that, and then we can just watch. I think the chair could just kind of watch. If somebody's making a comment on an item that's coming later or a public hearing, I think you'd open it up to the landowner to respond. You can kind of watch it that way. So yeah,
I get the point, and I agree with you on the. We want to have it be fair and balanced. That you don't get broadsided or blindsided. I mean, by 10 comments all against you, and you never had a chance to respond, and then we're supposed to take up a vote. So I'm with you on the concern. I just want to make sure that people also are able to comment on things, on agenda items that are relevant to them, that don't have anything to do with anybody else, right? Well, I didn't get to comment. Isn't the point of the public comment is I get to comment before you take up an action, discuss and vote on something. So I would move that we strike that second sentence from the policy, and then we'll just have to maybe amend it later, or
I can make that change that's very clear. I can strike that sentence, and then you can adopt with that change.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, I understand the pro and the con on this. But I think it'd be better just to strike it, and then if it does become a situation, then we can maybe deal with it right then. Like, you just advise the person that comment needs to either be held, or that the applicant needs to be able to be given due time as well. So,
yeah, I like that.
We should do that.
Then with that change, I would move that I lost my agenda. Move that we approve Resolution R 2026-3750, a resolution adopting a public comment policy for county commission meetings.
I'll second that motion.
The motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Commissioners report. Anything to report for the good of the public?
I'm glad that you were able to judge those animals, and we had our county fair finish up.
It was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was tough.
We had a lot going on this last week. We had our State of the County as well.
The fair was sensational.
Very well done.
Yep. So
we had a quasi ribbon cutting / progress announcement at Liberty Village, on the Green Dragon Tavern, and other structures. I loved being there. I had to get to a solid waste meeting, so I had to leave early, but you two were there, and I was there at the start. I can't wait for them to proceed with other things.
It's exciting. You know, it's tough to get something like that out of the ground. Sometimes you have these dreams and you think it's going to happen overnight.
Yep.
And here they sit, you know, these years later, and it's coming along.
It was really exciting. Was it the Ben Franklin House that they announced at the same time when they held up the banner there? That's fully funded and ready to go. That'll be another great addition, and this will be. I know all three of us are very excited for this to be here in our county, and it's an appropriate place here. And thank Liberty Village and United We Pledge and all those, the Howard family and Dennis and all of their staff that do a great job. We need more patriots like them in the world.
We celebrated at some kickoff events for Shot Heard Around the World, America's 250 celebration. Santa Clara's doing a lot of things. And every city has got things planned. I loved the entries in the theme following the fair parade that was in St. George, and those that really went all out to show they care about, you know, the Queen floats, you know, even private businesses. We've never seen so many tool sales trucks, and Snap Tools was half the parade. But all is the theme of America's 250.
And I would say, regarding the fair, Commissioner Iverson, I will give you credit. You really pushed to make sure that or it was your idea. There was no pushback really, but you were the one to suggest that the fair be free this year. Nobody needed tickets to get in, and the days I was there, man, that place was packed. There was a lot of people there, and what is more American than a county fair, right? So it was a great way to celebrate America's 250. So as I recall, it was your original idea. So well done.
Well,
I think the public enjoyed that they were able to get in for free. Not that it was only what, $1 before, $2.
Yeah, I think it got up to $3. Yeah,
$3, still pretty cheap, but even better when you don't have to, you know, it's like going to a movie that somebody else gave you the tickets for. It's just a little bit better movie.
Makes you want to buy popcorn.
Yeah, you want to spend a little bit more money. When the fair was free, you could take the kids on a few extra rides. So, all right, well, seeing nothing else, we will adjourn.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is what I do.